attending this webinar. Since a lot of people have joined already, we can go ahead and move with our webinar session. Okay. Before moving ahead, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for attending this webinar in this busy auditing season. And to all our attendees, I would like to appreciate you for accepting automation as a medium for going ahead with the balance confirmation at the audit confirmation. So I would like to tell you that in this webinar, our presenter would be Prerna Gabe, and she will be initiating the entire webinar session. So she will brief you exactly entire details about how to initiate the audit confirmation using the Firmway tool. Before moving ahead, there are few polls that we would like to release and know more about you. Before releasing that poll, first of all, rest assured, once the webinar ended, we will send you the audit confirmation recorded video, as well as all your questions will be answered at the end of this session too. So moving ahead, let us publish our first poll. So it would be shown on your screen. Please vote accordingly. Please vote. I would request you, all of you, all the attendees to give your vote accordingly. You have 1 more minute and then we'll close the poll. Thank you so much. So we are almost closing the first poll. Okay. So those who have joined from YouTube, the poll will end there as well. Thank you so much. So we are publishing a second poll. It is here on your screen. Please answer the poll, and it will be closed in 60 minutes more. Sorry, 60 seconds more. Thank you. So we are closing our second poll. Moving on, here on your screen is the third poll and the last poll. Please vote accordingly and submit your responses. We are very grateful that you're taking this time and submitting the responses. Great. In 20 seconds, the third poll will be closed as well. Thank you so much. So here, Prerna, here on to you. You can initiate this session ahead. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. As Suman said, thank you so much for taking a valuable time and joining us for this session. And here, I'm going to help you understand the entire automating process of the audit confirmation software, which you guys some are already using and some will be initiating to use from now. So let's see what are we going to actually cover into this session. The entire webinar would be of 1.5 hours approximately. We are going to cover the audit confirmation overview, how we set up the account on Firmway, requesting the audit confirmation, response monitoring, and audit documentation would be covered. As well as if you guys have any questions, any queries also will be addressed in this end of this session, right? So let's, without further ado, let's go ahead and see that what is audit confirmation overview. Why is audit confirmation? This is a general question, as all we know that SA 505 requires auditors to have an external confirmation directly from the parties, confirming to the parties to obtain more relevant and reliable audit evidence. To and this audit, using this tool, this is the prominent tool for the auditors to detect the fraud. As we all know, in the past 5 decades, we had multiple companies which could have detected the fraud through following these compliances. As we have Satyam, we have Wirecard as the examples, which could literally detect dollar frauds in the past if they had used proper confirmation software. Also, SA505 external confirmations had the third largest non-compliance finding as per the report of Audit Quality Review 2020-21. Now let's see what is exactly the report review says. One out of five firms are not complained to SA505. Findings highlights are, as you can see below, not carrying out the external confirmation procedure in accordance to 505, as 505 says they do not carry the proper external confirmations, not performing external confirmation procedure, and not keeping the documentation for that purpose. So again, any audit purpose done, they need a solid evidence and documentation required. So the below are the pointers of trade receivable, loans, bank balances, investments, which documents are not properly kept and recorded. So this was the report which says that the SF505 compliance should be followed properly, and here Firmway is going to help you with this to follow the entire process of the compliance and keep your auditing smooth. So how Firmway is going to help you? Let's see that. Firmway compliance to the standards of auditing and also reduce the confirmation cycle of 2 weeks. Now how? First, we have the send confirmation request from the auditor, client authorization, client will approve it, and third, we get the response from the vendors, customers, and also the bankers. So let's see the benefits of this software. You get send confirmation through email. So here we reduce your manual efforts of posting the confirmations or sending manual mails. This mails will be automated. You can see real time status. So if you want to check out the entire report of the bulk mail which you have sent, bulk confirmation which you have done, you can see the real time status if they are delivered, any emails have been failed, responded, or read. So this is the way we will get a one single dashboard to see the real time status. Key statics, again on that one single dashboard, you will be able to see the key statics of the percent of amount which is confirmed by the confirmers, or they have raised any differences in the amount. So this is also a benefit which you'll be able to find ahead. Audit documentation. Now, whenever the respondent will respond to the confirmation mail, you will be able to track down the entire records in one single document, and on single click of the button, you will be able to download the Excel file for the same. Auto Automate follow-ups. Again, the reminders will be scheduled and you'll be able to manage them for the automate follow-ups. Summarize reports you will be able to download again on one click. If the responder has any differences in the amount which we have given to them, they can reconcile it on the reconciliation platform. They're available on the Firmway portal itself. Audit trail would be maintained. You will be able to see the entire trail of the audits on one single click. So these are some benefits which you are going to all, get hand to it, and let's see how. For obtaining these benefits, you guys need to first set up an account on the Firmway portal. Now let's see how are we going to do it. And to let you guys know, this is a very simple 5-step process. Just we'll have a quick look on that. So first, to register yourself on Firmway portal, you will going to use this URL, that is app.firmway.in. Directly when you go on this URL, you will get a button over here that says register. Once you click on the registration button, you will find this page coming in front of you, which will ask you the user information. Now here, when you first being an auditor or a company, when you onboard yourself, you will have to select the role. So first you need to select audit. If you're auditor, onboarding as an auditor, you will select auditor and accordingly your entity type over here. Okay. Some auditors may already have registered their account who is attending, and if you want to onboard a new company, you're going to follow the same process. You'll on click on register, select the role over here and the entity type. Coming forward, we have the entity information. So if you're a firm onboarding as a firm, you'll put your firm name, the firm registration number, member card over here. And if you're onboarding your company on the Firmway portal, you will put their details as well. So company name and company PAN accordingly. Coming below, if you, when you complete that process, you will see you will have a next button over here. When you click on next button, you will have personal information over here. So as the auditor, when you are registering yourself over here, you put your partner's details who's going to take care of the entire portal, and then they will eventually be able to assign everything to the team members below. Once you're done with that, click on next. And once you click on next, you will be finding this pop-up in front of you that is detailed submit successfully. Please check your email to activate your account. When you receive this pop-up, you will click on finish. Okay. And when you're onboarding as an auditor, you need to activate your account by uploading the below documents given. As you can see, the documents for an audit firm is the member card and the firm card. Okay. Whereas when you are going to register your company on that, you will have to upload the party letter, bank letter, or GST certificate, which we'll see later. So as you can see, it's a very simple step to register yourself on Firmway, also the activation part. Now, how are you going to move ahead? Once you're registered, what is the next step you're going to do is add the user. Okay, so the user can be added by the admin itself. Now, let's see how. So once you are done with the account setup, that is a registration on a Firmway portal, this is what the dashboard is in front of you. So in dashboard, you will click on settings. You will go in manage user, as you can see on the screen. Once you click on manage user, you have a option over here again, a manage user, and you can see a create sub user. So once you click on create sub user, you have this email ID of the person which you need to add, first name of the person, last name of the person, mobile number if required, and the role you want to give. Okay. So let me explain you the roles over here. When we say admin, the admin has the entire access to the portal. He can manage the portal. He can add, remove users. When we say portal manager, they are basically for IT purpose in the portal. If they have some issues, email configuration, domain configuration are done by the portal manager. The person who is completely looking for the IT team. When we say authorizer, the authorizer is the person who is going to manage the entire audits accordingly. So that role will be given to the authorizer. When we say preparer, the preparer is one who is going to upload the file, prepare the file for the entire audit. Okay. So accordingly, you can assign the roles to the people. And once you're done that, you can just enter your membership number over here and create. Once you create the user, you will be able to see the user accordingly where you created it. So as I have created a portal manager, I'll be able to see a portal manager entry over here. If I have created a authorizer, I'll be able to see authorizer and preparer in here. Okay. But this was only for one person. What if I have a team of 15 people and I want to add them with a different role? It will be really a time occupying a lot of time if I one by one go and do this process by creating a sub user. So here we have a option of bulk adding the users, right? So how are we going to do that? As you can see on the portrait, you can just add multiple users. Yeah, it's asking for a file, and the file is exactly given over here in the name of download template. So when you click on download template, you'll be able to see this file in front of you. Okay, the file is very simple: first name, last name, email, role, and mandatory of partner. So what this file says is the red fields are the mandatory ones. We need the person's name. last name, email, which is again important. Mobile number is not mandatory. Role, what role you want to give the person? Again, the same roles are available here. Admin, portal manager, authorizer, preparer. Accordingly, if, as I just explained you the role, we can provide them the role, and then which partner is holding them, you'll just add the partner's name. And if you want to understand properly, like if you're sometimes stuck, you can also refer this info sheet, which will help you to make this file properly. Okay. So this file is again self-explanatory. You can just refer this by uploading. Let's suppose I have entered here some details, and post that I'll just upload the file over here, and the entries would be automatically captured as such, right? Each user which you add will get a link on the email ID which you have mentioned. They just need to click on that link, activate the link, and then the user is ready to browse the portal. Okay, so let's see what is next. Now we have domain configuration with us. So before going ahead, I will just ask my team to run a poll for you guys. Meanwhile, you can answer the poll.
The polls will be closing in next 10 seconds, so you can vote accordingly.
So let's continue. Moving ahead with the domain configuration, and we all every firm has a different domain. So let's see how are we going to configure the domain for rolling out the confirmation. Again, in the settings, you will be able to see the domain configuration will be given an option in the settings in the auditor account. In the domain configuration, how will you define a domain? I'll give you example. Prerna@firmway.in. So this is my email ID at the rate firmway.in. So firmway.in would be my domain. So I will need to configure that. Similarly, I'll come in the settings over here, click on domain configuration, put my domain in there. That is, let's suppose say firmway.in. Okay. And then I will do is verify this domain. Okay. Once I verify the domain, I'll get an entry over here, right? So this entry, I'll just download. Here you can see a download option. So I'll just download these records, right? System will create a record for your domain, and then you need to share this file which you just downloaded, you need to share this file with the domain service provider or the IT team of your company or firm who's managing the domain. Okay. And once you share this file with them, you need to ask them to publish the records of record type text records and CNAME records on their server. Okay. So you just need to give this file to the IT person and ask them to publish these records, text records and CNAME records on the IT server of the domain, and then the domain would be configured. It's as simple, right? Similarly, we'll come ahead with the email configuration. So now, as we have done the domain configuration, before coming to the email configuration, let me explain you why do we do domain configuration. So, domain configuration helps us to ensure that our mails, which we are going to send in bulk, won't land up in spam or promotions. Okay. So, while doing this configurations, we'll ensure that they land up in the inbox or primary mailbox, right? Uh, Now, let's see what is how we want to do email configuration again. Here, we'll just add a new email, put the person's name, okay, put their email ID, and verify. Once we click on verify email ID, here you will get a line entry over here, which will show the status accordingly. And the email ID which you have verified will receive a link. Okay, the mailbox will say and have a link in it. Will say that click on this link to configure your email, verify, right? Once you click on that particular link, you just need to come back to the auditor's portal of Firmway, click on update status. Okay. Once you click on update status, the status will change accordingly. If it is a failed, it will show failed. If it is pending, it will show pending. If it is successful, it will show successful. Okay. So this is how you prevent your mails to get in some spam or promotions. Right? Now let's see what we have next to cover. Great. So you can see within a time we have completed our account setup for auditor. We have done registration of firm. We are account activation is done. We have added the users. We do configured the domain. Also, we configured the sending email ID. Right. If you have any questions still here, guys, you are free to drop it to the chat box below. We will be happy to answer. Going ahead, we have a client account setup process. So as I priorly told you guys that the client account setup is nothing but the company account setup. Okay. So it is as similar as how you registered yourself on Firmway portal. You need to follow the same steps, right? And at the end, the documents for the company which you need to upload, as I told you priorly, the party letter, bank letter, GST certificate. Okay. So let me show you, like, get you through party letter, which is also authority letter. The company needs to put this authority letter on their letterhead and upload it on the Firmware portal. The authority letter says nothing, but only it says that the company is giving the authority to the auditor to use the Firmware portal to take the confirmations from the vendors, customers, and banks. That's all the authority letter says. You need to just ask the company to upload this letter for you guys. Okay. So here, once we are done uploading the party letter, which is also the authority letter, we are in two steps. We complete the process of the client setup as well. So now, when we both auditor and client company are on the Firmware portal, let's see how we start the request for audit confirmation. Before that, we'll run a poll for you guys. So as you can see, the polls have been published. Okay, so the polls are going to be closed in next 10 seconds. Vote accordingly. Okay, so we have a question to address. Let's see. Um, okay, so before going ahead, we have a query that we need to understand how we can add the sub users again. So let's see how we can add the sub users. For that, I'll show you once again. We will get into auditor's account. In settings, we have manage user. Okay. In manage user, we have manage user option to add a single person. If you want to add one single person or two, like you have a countable number which you can easily go one by one and add a user, you can create sub user. There's an option there. You can simply click on that and you can fill one detail at a time. Okay, the entire detail would be filled one at a time. Okay, but what if you have 15 to 20 people, entire team to add in this portal, and you have no time, like no one will waste one time 20 times repeating the same data, right? So we have an option over here as well that you can add multiple users at a time. At a time. Okay. So how you want to do that? You're going to simply download this Excel template from here. Okay. Download this Excel template, and the Excel template will ask you to show the details which was already given in create sub user. That is the name of the person, the role of the person, last name, email ID, and the manager. Okay. So let's see how the file is. As you can see, first name, the red fields are again mandatory. Let me tell you guys. So you have to put the first name, you have to put last name, again a mandatory part, email ID of that particular user or the team member. Mobile number not required. If you have, you can put role. Again, in the role, you have the same information to put in, which was on the portrait in the single entry. So, if you want to add as an admin, you can add the give the role as admin. Portrait manager, you can give a portrait manager role. Authorizer, prepare. Accordingly, you can give the roles to the person. And here, membership number if the member accordingly is a partner. Okay, so it is a mandatory for partner. Membership number is mandatory for partner if the person we are adding is a partner. So the membership number in this file should be input. Okay. Just you can then save this file. Okay. And get back to the portal. Upload it over here. You'll put the file here and upload it. Once you upload the file, you will able to see the entries. So if you have prepared authorizer and preparer in the file, so you will have the entries over here. If you have portal managers in the file, so you will be having the entries over here. Okay. So if you have partners in the file, you will get an entry over here, right? So this is how you can at a time put all the data of the team members and the person you want to add members in the portal and upload the file at once. So I hope you are clear. Okay. So now let's see how we are going to request the audit confirmation. To start with the audit confirmation part, we will first authorize the company with the auditor account. Okay. So let's see how are we going to authorize. And authorization is nothing but linking the auditor and the company account. Okay. So here, coming back to the auditor account, we will get in confirmation. We have authorization option over here. Click in authorization. We have create authorization option at the top right corner. Just click on create authorization, right? We will add the entity name. So let's suppose say I'm going to add my company, Tegna Private Limited over here. Audit type started to be audit. Okay, branches. If the company has any branches, so we will add the branches as well. The partner given, the partner given over here would be added. Partner's name will be added. Audit period. So you need to select the audit period for which period you're going to do the audit for the company. So here you selected the period for you guys. Authorizer, as I told you, that we have authorizer and preparer, we just added in the manage user. So authorizer, if you select one single authorizer, I said, suppose I selected this authorizer, so the authorizer will only have the rights to take care of this audit, company's audit. Okay, so this will be completely assigned to the company. Similarly, the preparer. Okay, once we are done with this, we will just click on submit. Once we click on submit, we will see the entries over here. So the partner, the company which you authorize will leave a entry over here. You'll be able to track down. Okay. So all the entries will be captured here and the period of the audit as well. This is how we are going to authorize our company with the auditor account. So first step, creating authorization and assigning team. Assigning team is nothing but authorizer and preparer. Okay. Then comes our preparing Excel file for party bank MSME. Now let's see how are we going to prepare the file. So guys, when I say preparing the file for the automating process, Excel file is the 90% of things which we are going to input over here, and the major output is going to come in just 10%. So here we have to do the major work. Your company's data will be uploaded over here. So when you put the vendor in the entity name, you have to put the vendor's data over here. And also in reference number, you need to put the refer customer code and vendor code. Okay, so whoever's data is going to put in here, you need to put their codes over here. If you don't have any code of the particular vendor or customer, you can simply use the serial number. Serial number 1, 2, 3. You can go accordingly. Okay. Before going ahead, when you have this file in front of you, you also have an info sheet in here. You can refer to prepare the file. Okay. So moving ahead, we have the different uh, shaded of colors. As you can see, there are red color headers, which are mandatory ones. Okay. So always remember that red mandatory or red color headers are the mandatory ones. Also, the ground rule for making the file is you cannot delete or edit any of the columns or the headers. Okay, do not shift any column from here and there. Do not edit any headers in there. Okay, do not hide any columns, not any sheet. So these are some ground rules which you need to take care of. Apart from that, just follow the headers. That as you can see the name of entity, put the entity's name in here. Reference number I told you as fairly. Vendor code, customer code, or serial numbers can be used. You also need to make sure that reference number column should always have unique set of numbers. Okay. So here, if you have the PAN card for that particular company or any, you can put so branch name, branch code, branch pin code if you have any. Okay. Now, if you here have name of the person. If you don't have the name, put sir and slash madam. If you have the name, you can just put the names. Okay. Coming to it, the email ID one. So here in email ID one, you are going to just uniquely put the email ID. No space, no comma, no semicolon, nothing. Only the email ID. And one email ID in one cell. Okay. Coming ahead, we have mobile number. If you want to add the mobile numbers, if you have any, you can simply add them. Again, it's not a mandatory field. As you can see, the color is black. So it's not a mandatory one, right? Next, we have a email CC option. So as we all generally use Gmail, right, for mailing purpose and everything, we have their option of to CC and BCC. So similarly, this is the format which is going to work. First email ID is going to, second one, and here if you want to keep anyone in loop, you can put them in CC. And if you want to keep someone in BCC, you have this option as well. Okay, guys, here we are. Next, we have branch code, company branch code. If you have any, you can fill the column. Coming ahead with the way. Now, what way is our confirmation going to go? So, as I told you priorly, we are going to send the confirmations through email. We are going to put it mailed way. Okay? So, emailed way will be put here. Coming ahead, we have response type. So, response type, we have three response type which we can share the confirmations in. Okay? So, one is positive, one is negative, one is blank. So, coming to positive one, when I say the company is going to send a positive response, it is going to say, it simply say that 20,000 is a amount. You can, if the amount is differ in your books, just attach your Excel and ledger attachment, and we will check it that what is the difference. We ask for the difference or confirm the amount as it is, right? But when we say a negative response type, we give a confirmer a deadline that if you you do not respond over this email within 10 days, we will consider the amount as here and close our books. So here, in when we say response type in negative, we give a deadline to the responder, right? And when we say a blank response type, we do not share any kind of amount or any kind of ledger from our end. We ask them to share their ledger and their amount. Okay. So once this is done, we have the columns for the amount section, that is the debtors, creditors, advances from customers, advance from suppliers, loans, interest, receivable, payable. And if you have apart from any other amount apart from these headers, you can simply put the description in here and the amount, currency, and the amount. Also in currency, we have all, you can put any currencies you want. Okay. So all over the world currencies are applicable. In remark column, we recommend that you can always keep this remark in the column of remark that in case of any mismatch in amount, kindly share your ledger statement in Excel format. Okay. So if the responder has any mismatch in amount, they will be sharing the ledgers in the Excel format. You can, it is not again a mandatory field, but it is a recommended remark given. Coming ahead with the attachment. So, what is the attachment sheet for? Okay. As we all know that this is the balances. So, in this, we are going to put the closing balance of your ledgers, right? If you want to give the breakdown of your entire ledger for what this amount has been closed for, right? You can simply attach your ledger in here. Okay. So by attaching the ledger, how will system catch that the first company, that is ABC Private Limited, has this 20,000 balance, and this only particular is their ledger statements. So here we have given reference number, and the reason we ask to put a unique reference number in balances sheet is system will catch the ledger statements line items of ledgers through reference number. So if I say that 700001 is a reference number for ABC Private Limited over here, so these entire entries are of ABC Private Limited. So six entries are for ABC Private Limited. Okay. If we want to share the ledger entries with the vendors, we'll just put the data of the ledger, put it in here, but make sure the reference number are matching to the entries of what company they are. Okay. So this is how we want to prepare the entire sheet. And also you have a validate button at the end of the sheet. You can simply click on validate inputs. And if there are any errors, like suppose say if this file has a comma in here, so this particular cell will turn into red. Okay. And you will be able to see that, okay, here we have a error in the file, right? Any errors in the file and you validate your input, you just validate input the file with that micro button, the file will automatically highlight you the errors before uploading in the system. Okay, so we will just save this file and go ahead. Now let's see what is next. Similarly, this is what we made the party file, that is the balances file. For bank confirmations also we have a different template, and also for MSME. So let's see how we have a bank confirmation template. The headers are same again, the rules are same. The red headers are the mandatory one and do not edit, change anything. For bank, we also have reference number, put the entity name, that is the bank name, IFSC code, branch name, name of the particular person who's going to respond, that is sir, madam, or who are we mailing them, put their email IDs. Again, if you have anyone in CC, BCC, any member of your firm or company or the bank side management, you can keep them in loop. Or also in BCC, we have email way again mail. Okay, and response type is blank because we ask bank to confirm us. So always the response type is blank in here. Again, the remarks column is not mandatory, but if you want to add up any remarks in here, you can do so. Okay. So this is how we are going to prepare the files. As now let's see what we have next. Upload. So here we are on the dashboard of the Firmway. We'll click on confirmation upload. We click on upload, and here we have this page in front of us where we need to select the audit type. Then we'll select the confirmation type, that is bank, balances, or MSME, whichever we want to select for MSME. Now we are going to upload balance confirmation. So we'll click on balance confirmation. Then we'll select the company which we have authorized for. So clicking branches if we have any, or by default it will come all. Now we have date as on. So for what period are we going to send this confirmation? We'll select that confirmation date and click on next. Here we will select the authorization. So here we are just authorized. If you want to send the ledger, we'll select yes. And what is the format, PDF or Excel? We are going to select that. But if Excel format. But now we are not sending, so we'll click no. In file, we are just going to select the file which we prepared. Okay, so drag down the input file which we prepared for order confirmation or balances, audit confirmation. Select the file from your browser. Give the file a name which will be used post again identified as the tag of your audit. So you can give a name which will you recognize later. As I'm giving you a name that customer audit confirmation, and then I'll just upload. Once I upload, the system will load the entire data and check if there are any errors or any warnings which the file has input. If not, then it will show successfully uploaded and a pop-up will be given to you. Once that, you can just have a maker checker check in there. Just check how your entries are and also check the how many entries you put in the file are showing correct. Then click next. Once you click next, then click commit. Yes, committed. Once done, you will just authorize the entire audit. The data will come in front of you again. If there are any changes you need to do, you can do it here. You'll just check it again. Click authorize. Yes, authorize it. Now, once you authorize it, you can see the status changing to awaiting auditee verification. Here you can see the status changing to awaiting auditee verification. That means the auditee needs to verify this. Here at this time, we will log into our company account. Once you log in into a company account, we'll click on confirmation. We'll go on track. We'll check the file name which we have given. So as you can see, the customer audit confirmation file and the status is also same over here. So we'll click on view. Once you click, you can see the status, and here you also, your company can also check that this is the data. We'll verify this file. Yes, verify. Okay. So once you verify it, then you can see an option of send confirmation. Now, if the company wants to send the confirmation from their ID, they can, or else we get back to the auditor account, just refresh the particular page, and we get the option of send confirmation. Okay. So once we click on send confirmation, we have click on send confirmation. We have some options to select or the entire frame the entire confirmation. So here we have set email template, which will be by default. Auto follow-ups are be done, so set the reminders for them, so mail would be automatically triggered. You have this set of reminders, 5 reminders in interval of 3 days. One reminder today, after 3 days, one reminder will go. Again, in 7 days, 5 reminders, and 3 days, 3 reminders. So you can select accordingly, and if you don't want to, you will just select no reminder. Okay. So you select accordingly. The email which we configured will come in the drop down. So this will be the email ID from where the emails will be going, confirmation mails. So as we uploaded the authority letter for the company, we'll just select that authority letter over here. Later, we have the send ledger as email as attachment. So as we selected no, because we are not sending any of the ledger attachments, we are going to select no. If we had attached, select yes there. We'll click here yes as well. To whom will be notified? If you have any person to notify, you'll just click it from the drop down. Will be given. Okay. So as I'm not selecting here contact person. If any you have, you will select them. This will be the person with the email ID given so that the responder can get in touch with them if they have any doubt. You can simply schedule this email confirmations as we schedule our mails. Just select the date and time accordingly. If you want to send it now, just click send now and send confirmation. So this is how we entirely send confirmation process is done. Till here. Now we are going to do nothing is just sit back, wait for the confirmations to go, and then later track the confirmations. Here, as you can see the pie chart, that will be representing the uh, responses. This is the mail. How you will be how the responder will be able to see their mails. The sir, madam, name. This balance is confirmation request to the auditor. From the auditor account will be given name here. Click to respond and the company's name and ahead. Once the responder clicks on that link, this is the page the responder will see in front of him. As you can see, the amount is given and there are two options. A, correct amount is correct. B, amount is incorrect. So if I click on A, this is the confirm responder page. If I want to add any documents, I'll just click here and attach the document and then confirm. If I click on B, I get a amount, a confirmed amount to put. So I'll put my amount in here. I'll attach the document and give the file name, that what is my file, what I'm attaching here, and a general remark as well as a column which you can fill in. So here you get a reconciliation page in front of you. If the responder has difference in the amount, the automatic or auto reconciliation page is given in here. You can skip, or if you want to reconcile it, you can particularly reconcile it. So as of now, I'm skipping the page. Yes, submit. And this is the final response page where the person who is responding will enter the name. Okay. The designation, what he is, put the designation in there. Mobile number is not mandatory, but if he wants to fill in, he can. And the email ID. So once you put the email ID, he'll get an email verification code, okay, which will be used as a OTP to send the confirmation or confirm the confirmation. So here he'll receive the verification code on the link. Once he'll just take the verification code from the mail and need to punch on the portal and validate. He finally submits the response for the confirmation. And this is the confirmation response. You can also document it just clicking on download the copy. You can see the confirm logs, and also so here you go on track by on the auditor account again. You click on view of the particular audit and see, as you can see, the pie chart has been changed into different status. Also, let's see over here, as I have responded one, so I'm getting this responded, and whatever is the status over here, I'll get to see the status in the pie chart as well. Also, I have other entries. So before going deep into the tracking part, let's just have a poll. You will be having a poll on your screens. The poll will be for more 10 seconds on the screen. Please vote accordingly. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we're going to track the audit. Here, we have the confirmer has not attached. So if there is any attachment, you can see in here as a tick and a cross. Okay. So there's a difference in this confirmer, and they have given the responder difference as well. You can see there are two amounts, right? You can view it here and you can see the attachment is given. You can simply download it from this link and download this confirmer logs as well if you want. Here you can see that entire log, confirmer log, that who prepared the file, who authorized it, who verified it, and also who replied the file. Let's go back and see. the further process. Here we can just go see the entries for 10, 20, 100 and filter it by the responses that status is responded or partially responded. Here we have actions. Let's see how they work. Just click on a single entry, click on actions, and here you can see the actions which it is send, resend reminder, start, stop reminder, revoke, resend, reconfirm, and more. Okay. So if you want to reopen, as I select all and I see stop reminder, so the reminder will stop for the entire audit. Okay. Now, if I want to see the reports, if I click on detailed report, a report will be mailed to the user. And if I click on summary report, the report will download on my portal. Let's see how is the report. Here we have general information in which you will be able to see the name of the company, PAN, audit details, send email ID from, and auditor details as well. Okay, in summary report, you will be able to see the entire statics that how is the stats going. In detailed report, you will be able to see the responses of each particular company in front of them, parties. So if this particular party has responded or partially responded, you will be able to see in status. Also, the reference number and every single entry which the responder has in the confirmer mail, you'll be able to see in here. The confirmer amount which is in difference or not, then the difference of the amount, and the confirmer remarks if they have mentioned any. Also, the attachment, if they have shared the attachment, the status would be in yes, and more. So here in confirmer log also you can see that what is the who responded to it, or everything, IP address and everything has been captured, the date, the time, and the status on what they responded. Also, the auditee logs by who prepared, verified, authorized, and sent the confirmation. So this is how we want to track and download the document from the portal. Okay. So we have seen the track. This is how the reminder works, how to stop the reminder. We have seen how to download the report. Guys, do we have any questions here? Let's address some questions. So let's wait for some questions here and let's see. Okay. So here we have come across some questions that what about the security of the data? So guys, I would really like to tell that your data is completely secure with us. There is no leakage of your data with us. But for that part as well, if you want to be for sure that You can anytime ask us for the security note of Firmway. We'll be more than happy to share you the security notes, which you can also later and forward share it with your company clients as well if they have any thoughts, second thoughts to register on Firmway as well. Okay. So rest assured with your data part, no one is leaking your data anywhere, and you can be more confident when you receive the security note with you. We'll be trying to share it with you also, guys. If you personally anyone wants the security note, you can just ask us through mail. Okay. Moving ahead, we have one more question that what do you mean by partially responded? Okay. So partially responded is as we guys saw, there was a page in for the responder page where the responder had marked the amount like there's a right amount, B incorrect amount, right? So if the responder leaves the page, leaves the portal from there, the responder is marked as partially respond. Okay, and when they finally submit the verification code, that time they are marked as respond. So partially responded is they have halfway completed the process of responding. Okay. Okay. So before going ahead, we have a last poll. So just please share your valuable votes on there. Okay. So the polls are on your screen. The poll is on the screen for more 10 seconds, guys. Please vote accordingly. Thanks for your vote, guys. Last but not the least, we have a final poll for you. Please vote according to that poll as well. The polls are on the screen for more 10 seconds. Please share your valuable votes, guys. Thank you guys for your valuable votes. Before ending this session, we have a great big news for you guys that in few days we are going to come up with a updated version of new audit confirmation. So we request you to stay tuned for the further updates of it. And thank you so much for giving your valuable time out of your busy schedules. Hope you have grasped more of this webinar. Thank you for your support. Have a great day, guys.